Did you know Fast Growing Trees is America's largest and most trusted online nursery with thousands of trees and plants and over 2 million happy customers? Whether you're planting fruit trees, adding privacy, brightening things up with flowers, or bringing in houseplants, Fast Growing Trees has it all. Even better, they can help you find options that are right for your climate, your space, and lifestyle. Click Order Grow. Every plant arrives healthy with the Alive and Thrive guarantee straight to your door. So if you're ready to get planting, this is the moment. Right now, they have great deals on spring planting essentials, up to half off on select plants. And listeners to our show get 20% off their first purchase when using the code WWO at checkout. That's an additional 20% off. Better plants and better growing at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code WWO at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code WWO. Now's the perfect time to plant. Let's grow together. Use WWO to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. Go to growingfasttrees.com for details.
Spring is packed patios, parties, wedding weekends, and RK Zero Proof keeps you in the mix without the morning after regret. As the original Zero Proof Spirits brand, RK's Warm Molecule gives you that real deal burn of whiskey or tequila with none of the alcohol. 0 calories, 0 sugar, and a whole lot of freedom to enjoy the moment. Sip smarter this season at rkzeroproof.com. That's rkzeroproof.com.
Yeah, it's getting real now. We've been running that promo for a while, but we're really closing in on decision time now. The schedule is going to be launched by the NFL for the 26-27 season in just a few short weeks' time, and we'll know very clearly which teams are playing where and when, and we'll be able to nail down an itinerary for that tour. We've had over 200 expressions of interest, and thanks to everyone who has registered their interest and been in touch and asked us questions and followed up since we announced that we'd be taking people to the US for a game in the 26-27 regular season. But because of all those expressions of interest and as the momentum is building ahead of the schedule launch, we thought David Hayes from Bernard Hayes Travel would be the perfect man to come on and tell us what's what. David, welcome to the Irish NFL show. You're obviously a partner of the show. Last time we saw you was on Radio Row. You were in Fine Fettle when you were in San Francisco, working the room and getting people to travel across the Atlantic in that direction. Now we're hoping to bring people back, and it's a very exciting thing for us all to be involved in.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me as well. I think it's pretty good timing. As you said, Conor, we're a month out from the schedule release date. So just hopping on, just to give people kind of a bit more information, putting a face to the name as well, and answering any kind of questions on the night if they're fed in by any of the listeners.
Big thing for us, David, of course, is that when you're traveling stateside, when you're going over to a game, there's a lot of logistics and a lot of ins and outs to making all of that happen. I know certainly from myself, Brian, and Kieran's point of view, it's nice to have somebody who's going to be in the spreadsheets and who's going to be manning the phones to make sure all of that happens, get people from point to point, and make sure that it is, just as we said in the promo there, a special experience where people get to go to a game, see an iconic NFL city, experience the vibe on a game day in one of those brilliant stadiums, whether it be Lambeau or Soldier Field or Acrisure Stadium or any of those like absolutely venerable places where we were so used to watching big games during both the regular season and the playoffs, but not to have to worry about how you get from place to place, your transfers, all of that stuff. You'll have it all locked down.
It's like Conor, we were kind of chatting about it beforehand. Like it pretty much is a fully all-inclusive experience, because we're an IATA accredited travel agency, so we have a license to sell flights. So everything from flights to transfers to accommodation to the actual events kind of over there as well, which we'll be working with yourselves closely on, obviously. But it's a full end-to-end trip. So yeah, you'll obviously have to have a bit of pocket money yourselves for a few of the social events, but it's really tailored to be pretty much an all-inclusive end-to-end experience.
Kieran and Brian, for people heading stateside, I suppose we can kind of give them a flavour of what to expect based on our own experience, but also on what a lot of people would have experienced here when the Steelers played the Vikings at Croke Park. We put on events. There was lots of razzmatazz on in the run-up to the game, and a lot of excitement, tailgates, player interviews. That's what people can expect when we go over to the US in probably September, October, depending on which way the schedule falls. Kieran, you were front and center in the Arlington Hotel for our event with Bryant McFadden. Massive excitement there and a great buzz, and it really does build to the whole festival atmosphere around an NFL game.
Yeah, look, I suppose the genesis of this tour itself and this trip that we're going to embark on this season was that Croke Park, that Dublin weekend, when we were always looking to put on an event in Dublin at the weekend of the game, of the Viking-Steelers game. But we were, I guess we were helped along in a way where we were contacted by an American travel company. And in fairness, Brian was the man who met the point of contact there, and they got in touch with us. And they basically said to us, look, we're bringing a bunch of Steelers fans over to Dublin. What can you do to help us to make this, an unforgettable experience? And I give credit to Brian and yourself for I suppose the myriad of contacts that have been built up through the Irish NFL show over the years. We were able to get in touch with who turned out to be an absolutely unforgettable guest in Bryant McFadden, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Steelers, and who I think we can call a close personal friend at this stage. We met him once again over in Radio Row over in San Fran. He linked up with us.
So you're texting him on the regular, Kieran.
That's it. Every week.
They're swapping workout tips. They're talking about
it's BMAC for Kieran.
Yeah, it's BMAC. He's coming to my 40th next year, but so. He, we linked up with him in the Arlington, and our one of our main sponsors, the Arlington Hotel, and we put on an event. Shane was a fantastic host, and we had Bryant on stage, and he stole the show. I mean, the Steelers fans were, really, really felt that they got value for money. It was a real up for the match style pre-game event, whatever you want to call it. But I really did feel it fed into the atmosphere, and the Steelers.
Spring is calling. Weddings, patio sessions, barbecues, and you want that drink vibe without sacrificing tomorrow. That's RK Zero Proof. As the world's first zero proof spirits brand, RK created the warm molecule, giving you the smooth kick of whiskey or tequila with zero alcohol, 0 calories, 0 sugar, and all the peace of mind you need to enjoy every moment. Step into the zero proof season at rkzeroproof.com.
Steelers fans were highly complimentary of everything that was done on the night before the game. And then Bryant was brought to the tailgate that they experienced the following day. He spent time with him. He was really, really generous with his time. And that tailgate experience is, I think, vital. Whether you're here in Ireland, whether you're in London or whether you're in America. My wife and I have been lucky enough to travel to a couple of games in the States, and we have done the tailgate experience. We went to Lambeau Field on a kind of a tailgate trip, but it was just the two of us, all right? And this is kind of the crux of what we're getting at and what we want to provide for our customers or for our clientele. You got access to the tailgate, but you've still very much felt, or we've very much felt that we thoroughly enjoyed it, but we were very much in a watching along capacity. We were watching these groups of well-established tailgaters come together, share their stories, play their games, play cornhole, build up to the game and soak in the atmosphere. And we kind of felt like we stood back and watched it. What we want to create now is that experience where from the minute people land, they're part of a community and they can dip in and out of it as much as they want. We want to welcome them. We want to have, give them as much insight as we can as NFL enthusiasts, meet them, share our personal experiences and again, engage them with go and source a guest to make their experience a truly unforgettable weekend and have it, as opposed to just arrive at a game and go home, give them stories to tell that'll really last a lifetime.
Brian, I suppose that's always been at the heart of the Irish NFL show. It's sharing the passion for the game we love and being a catalyst and a point of contact for the community so that when people are watching the games, whether it's Red Zone at home on a Sunday, whether it's going to international games, going to the game that we were lucky enough to have at Croke Park, and fingers crossed, hopefully we'll have a couple more in the years ahead, but really expanding that now to what would it be like to bring a group of like-minded fans from Ireland across to a game, take all the worry and the stress out of it, but also create the sort of experience that we're very privileged to take part in ourselves when we go to games.
Yeah, I think this ultimately that's where it's always it's always been about with the Irish NFL show. I know the face has changed over the course of a number of years, Conor Brophy. We've a solidified team.
Younger we're getting, younger and more handsome we're getting.
Well, I won't go that far now, but it's always been about the community. It was like Kieran even spoke about it before he even joined the show. There's all these pockets of fans around the country. You don't realise, how many people are fully invested in the game. Obviously, it's come together now in the manner in which we've had a live game in Dublin. But for those who haven't travelled to the States, it's a unique experience because you as Kieran said, the tailgate piece. I think we kind of got a flavour of it in Croke Park, Conor, because if you do go to the international games in London or haven't been to Madrid with yourself this year and the Munich games, it's a very kind of collaborative fan base of all the different teams around the league where it was a little bit different in Dublin. And that's the kind of experience you get when you go to a game in the States. You're at a home game, whether it's going to be Green Bay, Chicago, New York, Boston, whatever way it plays out for us come May the 13th, 14th when the schedule's released and we make that definitive decision on where we're going to go. I think we all know ultimately where we do decide it's going to be a unique experience. And the fact that, look, we're going to ultimately do as much as we possibly can to make sure everyone has a wonderful experience and a wonderful time with the show, that we come away from this going, this was the right decision. Davis has been a fantastic partner with us since last year when he came in. And this has come together very well. I think we've got everything to a certain extent covered. But I think the excitement part is ahead for us. Like, I'm always excited when the schedule comes out, and then I have to remind myself we're not going to watch another NFL game for another 3 or 4 months. But it's an extra factor through this year, kind of the fact that we know we're going to be going stateside, and ultimately then come back into May, we'll have all the information ready for the customers.
And David, we give the last word to you because I think Kieran teed it up nicely there when he talked about himself and Dee's experience at Lambeau and having gone to a couple of other games. And brilliant and all as that is, and memorable as the experience is, you don't want to feel like you're on the outside looking in. We want to be the group that other people will be looking at going, how do I get to be a part of that? That's the kind of experience that we're going to create for people.
Exactly, Conor. And just one point that I'd reiterate that both Conor and Kieran mentioned was the community aspect of it. We want to create an experience here that, look, this is our first trip. We've got, and I've been very encouraged with the response to date. We want people coming back, say, God, we want to do this again next year. So we really are going to be putting our best foot forward here. We're already talking to kind of some venues in some potential cities in terms of kind of hosting some events. We'd love to kind of throw in a few cool kind of city experiences, whether it be kind of the river cruise in Chicago, a brewery tour there. So it's kind of it's a sports trip, but we want to kind of tie in kind of the city kind of culture as well that we'll be visiting. So it is. I'd be the same as Brian. I'd be very excited about it, and what we can put together for everyone.
And someone who's also excited about it is Micheál McCarthy, who's texted in there. You might be able to see it on screen, David, to say, once the NFL schedule is released, how soon can I book the trip to be guaranteed a place? And we'll be in communication with people very soon to outline all those details, right?
Absolutely. But when you're talking timelines, as Brian said, say the 13th, 14th of May is when the fixtures will be released. I would hope within a week of that, we'll have the itinerary nailed down and the pricing. And as soon as we have all those details to hand, the tour will be launched. So we have obviously everybody's details on hand, and we'll be circulating all the information to the emails address we have. So it's I would hope within a week to 10 days of the schedule release that will be good to go.
Fantastic. And we will be in touch with everybody who has registered their expression of interest between now and the schedule launch. And obviously then, as you're saying, once the schedule is announced, we'll be able to nail down the dates. We'll know where we're going, we'll know when we're going, and we'll have all of those details available. You can still get in touch with us if you want to register your interest. Of course, it's come one, come all, and we will be back with you very, very quickly on the Irish NFL Show.
Spring is packed patios, parties, wedding weekends, and RK Zero Proof keeps you in the mix without the morning after regret. As the original Zero Proof Spirits brand, RK's Warm Molecule gives you that real deal burn of whiskey or tequila with none of the alcohol. 0 calories, 0 sugar, and a whole lot of freedom to enjoy the moment. Sip smarter this season at rkzeroproof.com.